So you're considering making a move to Oregon. Well, there's some things that you need to know. What is up, everyone? Brad Armstrong here with the Armstrong Realty Group, located here in Southern Oregon. And I've got 10 things that you need to know before you make the move to Oregon. The very first thing that you need to understand about Oregon is so much more than just Portland. You know, a lot of people, when they start thinking about making the move to Oregon, the first place that pops up is Portland. And while that is the biggest city here in Oregon, there's a lot more to Oregon than, Portland and, that hipster vibe. Everything that you see in Portlandia about Portland is actually pretty spot on, to be honest with you. But it doesn't go for the entire state. The second thing that you need to know, though, is Oregon tends to lean to the left. And what I mean by that is Portland, Eugene, Salem, they are the majority of the population here in Oregon. That's no surprise. The biggest cities in Oregon are up north there, and they really dictate the way that the state kind of swings as far as, politically. The rest of the state kind of is more conservative. Maybe you're trying to leave a state that's, more conservative, or if you are trying to leave a state that's more liberal and you're trying to find a more conservative area of Oregon, know that the most of Oregon is probably more conservative. Now, if you are considering making a move here in Southern Oregon, or anywhere in Oregon for that matter, make sure you reach out. All my contact information is down below. I'd love to help you out in any way possible. The third thing, though, that you need to know is that there's no sales tax here in Oregon. I know, it's shocking. There's only a few states that have no sales tax, and Oregon is one of those states. So the nice thing about that is when you go to buy something at the grocery store, or if you are going to go pick out a new outfit, anything like that, you pay what is on that price tag. So you're not hit with any surprises. I'm always shocked when I visit other places. These groceries should have been only $40, but now I'm paying $52.73 or whatever it may be, right? It's always a little shocking when you're like, oh, that's not what I really was anticipating. So it's really nice to know that what's on the price tag is what you're going to be paying. Oregon still gets their money, right? Oregon has state income tax, and it's one of the highest in the country. So that's also something to really consider if you're making a move here and you're thinking, well, I'm going to make more money because the cost of living is cheaper, blah, blah, blah. The truth is you're going to be paying more in taxes, though. So do take that into consideration if you're making that move, that you're going to be paying a little bit more in your state income taxes, especially if you're coming from a state like Texas or Nevada that doesn't have any state income tax. Number 4 is it's illegal to pump your own gas. You're getting 20 to life, No, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad, but it is a shock to a lot of people when they come here, because I think there's only a handful of states that don't let you pump your own gas. And it's even more of a shock when you are born and raised here in Oregon and you leave for the first time and you wait in line for 30 minutes because you're like, oh man, who's going to come out and pump my gas? Surprise, no one is. It does have its pros and cons. I will say that, during the wintertime when it's cold out, it's really nice to just kind of sit in your toasty car and let the gas attendant pump your gas. Downside is if you're in a hurry and you are at the expense of the gas attendant, maybe they're having a bad day and they're just really don't care about their job at that point, and they just take their time getting out to you. It's happened. I've waited in line for someone to show up to pump my gas for 10-15 minutes. I'm like, well, to the next one. Number 5 is going to be Oregon's coastline is absolutely beautiful, but it is cold. The water is very cold. You don't want to be swimming in it unless you have, a dry suit or a wetsuit, something to help keep you warm. I mean, unless you're into hardcore ice baths and stuff like that, maybe it's your jam. But for the most part, Oregon's coastline is cold, but it's beautiful. Even when you're out walking on the beaches, odds are you're going to be wearing a sweater or a hoodie of some sort, no matter the time of year. Number 6 is a big deal. Is going to be drugs are legal here. Well, kind of. Back in 2021, Oregon passed a measure that decriminalized small quantities of drugs. So unless there is a decent amount of the drug on the person, all you're going to do is get a quick fine. You're not going to jail for having, you know, meth on you or having, you know, mushrooms. Which leads me to the next thing is Oregon is also going to be the first state to pass the legal use and sell of mushrooms. So yeah, that's crazy, right? There are a bunch of towns though that are working on banning the sale of those within city limits. So there's probably gonna be some pushback on that as well, but that's in the works. So know that drugs, yeah, legal. Matter of fact, you're gonna find a weed shop on every single corner. I was actually talking about this with my wife that, like, growing up, it was so weird because, you know, marijuana's always been around, right? But to, like, see it now and see it on every single corner, and knowing that, like, our kids are gonna grow up and not think that's weird, like that's a normal thing. Number 7 is we have all 4 seasons, and we also have a fire season. I actually have an entire video talking about the weather here, so make sure you go take a look at that. But just know that we have all 4 seasons, and the fire season, you know, anywhere from late June, early July, all the way through September. There's a good chance that Oregon gets totally smoked out. So if you do have, you know, asthma problems or breathing problems, do take that into consideration, because it's going to be hard on your lungs here during the summertime. Number 8 is we don't believe in umbrellas. It's a shock, I know. Here, that's the fastest way to tell if someone is actually from Oregon or not, is when it starts raining, if they pull out an umbrella. We prefer to just throw on a hoodie and suck it up. And honestly, this doesn't even deter us from, you know, enjoying the outdoors. A lot of people will still go out hiking, fishing, hunting, all the outdoor stuff, even in the rain. So if you're coming here, try not to break out an umbrella, or else we're gonna assume you're from California. Number 9 is going to be that you will either love the outdoors or you'll move. And what I mean by that is a lot of the entertainment here in Oregon is outdoor activities, whether it be hiking, rafting, snowboarding, anything outdoors. Like, we have it, but that's about all we really do have. You know, aside from like the bigger cities like Portland area, you know, we have 2 professional teams. We have the Timbers, we got the Portland Trail Blazers. But for the most part, like, we don't have a lot of sporting events, concerts, all that's gonna be like Portland. So if you leave the Portland, Salem, Eugene area, your entertainment is going to be outdoors. And if you don't like being outdoors, you're gonna be really bored. So you're either gonna learn to love the outdoors or learn to be bored or move back to where you came from. And then number 10 is Oregon is actually surprisingly expensive. Overall, like, we're just over like the national average for cost of living. However, the job wages that we get paid here in Oregon do not match the cost of living, and the cost of living is continuing to skyrocket across the state. So it is relatively expensive. Now, if you're moving somewhere from like California, where you can buy, you know, you sold your house for $1.5 million, it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, quarter-acre lot. Up here, like, you're gonna look at that and be like, oh wow, like, I can get a mansion for $1.5 million. So in perspective, it seems like it's a lot cheaper, but your cost of like the wages that you're going to be making don't match that. And so if you're retiring, then probably doesn't matter. Now, if you did find this video helpful, please make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. And then if you have anything that you want to let people know about Oregon, drop it in the comments down below.